here and I wanted to do a comparison video. And today's comparison is Adore against Arctic Fox. So I started this because Arctic Fox has been talked about everywhere. A lot of people use it, and I never used it, so I wanted to see what it was about. So to start off, I used Arctic Fox Purple Rain and Adore's Purple Rage are the two that I are comparing. And so I'll hopefully do a side-by-side of what they both looked like right after I finished dyeing my hair. So the beginning results I thought were very similar. It is the Fade of Arctic Fox, which I'll actually probably give you, because I did do a test thing there that I'll talk about, but I might as well start off. Let me part it so you can see a true fade of, this is an 8-week fade, and I mean it fades really well. I will put a picture hopefully here of the 8 weeks of the Adore so you can get the side by side right off the bat. So hopefully that's it. So first thing I wanted to mention how I wash my hair, how often I wash my hair, just to give you guys a base of comparing it to Adore and comparing it to how you wash your hair. So first thing is I only wash my hair like once or twice a week. I know a lot of people find that disgusting, but my hair just doesn't get greasy that fast. And especially when I wear, now that my hair is getting longer and I've been wearing it curly again, it's just easier to not wash my hair that often. So I only wash it about once a week. Twice if I use a lot of products, if I sweat a lot. Like during the summer, I tend to wash my hair more than in the winter. And another thing is a lot of the recommendations for these kind of colors say to wash your hair in cold water. Make sure you use like a sulfate-free shampoo, just a really gentle shampoo, something that's not going to strip your color. I pretty much ignore all that. I always have. I didn't do it differently for each one. Since this was a test, I washed my hair just as I wash it all of the other times with whatever shampoo I have, to clarifying if I need a really good wash every once in a while, not every time, to just a cheapy shampoo like Suave, which that's what I have, so that's what I'm using. And so that's pretty much the basis. Oh, and I use hot water. I don't use cold water. I don't like washing my hair in cold water, so I don't care. If that means I have to touch up my hair a little bit more, then I have to touch up my hair a little bit more. So I kind of have categories and what each one is. So my first category I thought of was the cost. Adore costs $6 in my area. Online, I think it's $7. And Arctic Fox, I could not find it in any store, so I had to order it off Amazon, and I got it for $10 on Amazon. I have Amazon Prime, and I did find it under Prime, so I didn't have to pay anything for shipping, so it was still just $10. So that's price, to me, if you're on a budget, that is a huge difference. They're both 4 ounces in the bottles. One other thing is Arctic Fox does come in a 6 or an 8 ounce. Now I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll look it up before I put this out, which is, I know, less than double. So that is kind of a plus if you want a bigger bottle to, if you have more hair or, use it multiple times. The next thing was the smell, which I put this on the list because this Arctic Fox, I don't even have it open, and I can smell this berry smell, which isn't too much of a gross artificial berry smell like you have with some of the like chemical hair dyes. It's very pleasant, and I still smelled this in my hair. Granted, I still smelled it up to 2 weeks later. Granted, that means I probably only washed my hair twice, but it still had a faint of smell. And the Adore really doesn't have, I mean, I don't know. It really doesn't have a smell. So if you don't like scented things, that's a plus. But this berry smells, I mean, I'm usually really sensitive to a lot of different smells, but this smell of this Arctic Fox is not overwhelming. It's not perfumey. It's just berry. That's the only way I can really describe it. The next thing I have on my list is how well it came off my skin, like around my hairline. With the Adore, when I rinse the color out after leaving it in for a couple hours, when I rinse the color out, that's when it comes off. All I have to do is like barely rub it as I'm rinsing my hair out and it comes off. The Arctic Fox didn't come off right away that way. I did have to rub at it with some soap outside of the rinsing, and then it truly disappeared once I washed my hair. So it depends on how you style it. If you have your hair back and you get a lot here, you know, that's going to be noticeable. But it really didn't bother me all that much. Okay, so I kind of already talked about how it fades. So both of them, I think, fade very welly. Very welly. I feel like both of them fade very well. It just depends on the type of fade you want. With the Adore, so the Adore purple I used was their Purple Rage, which has been my standard go-to dark purple, and it fades to me to a really pretty lavender, light lavender, like a pinky lavender, that I really enjoy, and it usually doesn't bug me until, you know, it gives me time to let my hair after bleaching. It gives me time to have my hair like heal and just recover from bleaching my roots. The Arctic Fox faded just slightly different. As I showed you at the beginning, it's more to me of a jewel toned purple, which is fine if you like that. I don't really particularly love the jewel tone with the top, with this little area here, which I'll talk about next. It does look similar to the fade of the Adore, but once you get underneath, you can tell that it's a different color fade. And really, I just saw this fade in the last week or weekend, probably the last 2 washes. So last 2 weeks. So the Arctic Fox did fade to a point slower, but I'm personally not loving this jewel tone. I prefer it to be like a lavender. Okay, so to this light spot. So what I did was I did a test strip of, actually it was this one. So I'm not showing you the Purple Rage because I don't have any left right now. But this is my Adore Cotton Candy Pink. And I did that in a couple different spaces. The main one is right here. I did that to see if Arctic Fox bleeds into other colors, like after you rinse it for the first time, after you wash it for the first time. And it didn't. It really, the pink strips never changed. They were always vibrant until this pink does fade faster than the Adore purple. So that's why it looks really blondie up here, but at my roots is still pretty pink. Yeah, so Arctic Fox doesn't bleed and neither does Adore. That's another reason why when I found Adore, I kept using it. I really liked the fade and the fact that it doesn't bleed into other colors. So the next thing I found when I first did the Arctic Fox and I put it into my bowl to apply it, I found it very thick, like pudding. That's what it reminded me. The thickness was just like pudding. It was super thick. Hopefully I'll show you a clip. I did record a clip of it in the container, which kind of frightened me and made me come up with these bleed tests, because the Adore 4 ounces barely covers my hair at this point. Just doing the top parts that are long, my hair is getting to the point where 4 ounces is not quite enough anymore. So I got out of it as much as I could. I decided to do the test strips, which this isn't the only one. There's like 3 or 4 about the same size throughout my hair. But still, when I came to this back strip here, I was running out of the Arctic Fox. Like, I had barely any left. So I had to mix the pink Adore with the Arctic Fox just to let it just to spread it out to get it to cover my whole head. So that is another thing you have to think of. Oh, so the consistency of Adore is just like if you ever used any other box dye with that. It's liquid, it's a little thick, but it's not too thick. It still spreads really easy. Arctic Fox spreaded easy, but I think Adore spreads easier. It's more liquidy. You can argue that the Arctic Fox is easier to control because it's thicker. So if you're not covering your whole head with just one color and you want to do some different things, maybe Arctic Fox would be better for that. But I don't like it, because then I feel like I feel like if I buy the fluid ounces that I know is going to cover my head, and then it's that thick, it's really not going to cover my head. You know what I mean? And there's pluses and minuses to these two brands. To me, I think I'm going to stick with Adore's. I am testing out another new hair dye this next time. I only bought it because of the color. That's the only reason I bought it. And I haven't seen anything in an Adore of this color. So I'm changing my hair color up again. There will be a video hopefully soon of that one too. But yeah, so I see I see why people love Arctic Fox. It is a good hair dye, and just like most of these fashion colors, you know, this one is pretty much like vegan free. They actually say on the label that it's vegan and non-animal tested. Most of these that I've seen, maybe I just haven't come across one that is animal tested, but most of them I've seen are vegan, animal free, cruelty free kind of hair dyes, because of the fact that most of the ingredients is like it's vegetable and plant based. It's not anything chemically or anything like that. So personally for me, I don't think I'll buy Arctic Fox again. Only if maybe I see a color that I can't buy in any other brand. And yeah, because really to me, I think, especially if I go back to my purple, I like the fade better for Adore. I like that it spreads better, or that it's more liquidy. And I can just skip over to the next town, which is like a 20-minute drive, 15-20-minute drive, and go pick up the Adore. And yes, Amazon could be only like a 2-day delivery, but when I want to dye my hair, usually I just want to dye my hair. But yeah, so I hope you guys got some good information from this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Wanted to see what all the hype was about. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.